Wow. How's everybody doing? Hi.
Yeah, what's up? Yep, see there it is, the trash can right behind your head.
Yeah, we had a little problem there getting going. Spectrum Business, you guys are just not awesome.
No,
It goes down
not
like
at all.
every time we're
Yep,
here.
every
And it
time.
just went down and right when we were trying to go live, so here we
Yeah,
are.
and they messed up my hair.
Who you got in there? I got
Oh, we've got to say hi to Miss Wendy,
Hi Wendy,
Mr. Ken Elric, hey,
Ken,
and Tom McCatherine, hi.
hey there. And we are simultaneously live streaming to YouTube, and that's just a lot of places to look. So what's new?
Yeah, everybody just dropped off.
Bye.
I don't know. Are you still worth only that much money?
You know, let's see what how much Shafe is worth now. Apparently, I'm worth $6.66. Not evil at all.
No, of course not.
So it's been a while since we talked to you, and in that time, somebody got a little ill.
Oh yeah.
How was that?
That was pretty awful.
So you got the COVID right after.
Yep, I got the COVID sometime the first week of January, and
Was it as fun as everybody says?
it was a lot less fun. It was weird because you think you got a cold or something or allergies or you're just tired from working too much or and then I just noticed one day when I came down the stairs I had to lean over the counter to catch my breath and I'm like, oh great, I know what's going on. So yeah, that was it, and then followed by 3 weeks of bedridden agony.
And a whole day in a hospital.
Yeah, towards the end, I had chest pains, and they thought that was a blood clot, and thank goodness it was not. They were pretty adamant about testing for it, and I'm one of those persons that has teeny tiny little veins that nobody can get. So, in order to do the test for the blood clot, they had to. They have to do a pretty powerful IV and flush fluid in there really fast, and my veins just couldn't take it. It was terrible. It was awful. But I have made almost a full recovery. I'm a little fatigued and cranky, but
To say the least.
we're going on about 6 weeks of just mild symptoms.
So it was a weird start to our year. We had
Yes, it was
a
awful.
lot of stuff planned.
And we had to cancel a couple of jobs that don't seem to be coming back to us, and that's hard to be without income for 2 months.
Yeah, people. So what else has been going on? I mean, it's been a minute.
Yes, it has.
I don't remember what we talked about last time we were on here. What else you got?
I don't know. Where's your list? I'm lost without it. I keep looking for it.
Oh, I didn't print our list of things.
You don't have a list?
So we did see some cool. What else has been going on with us? I don't. See, I'm in here a lot.
Yeah, somehow his whole family caught the COVID.
Yep.
Including me. My kids didn't get it, and he dodged the bullet. So
Yeah.
how does that happen?
Tested multiple times. Maybe I
Yeah.
had it and
Just
was
get-
asymptomatic. I don't know.
Or you had it because you got a cold, a real bad cold,
I did get a cold. It
and
was miserable.
and slept for hours and hours, and we had to be apart because he tested negative. So I pretty much was alone for 3 months with my dogs.
What you got on your hands here? It looks like a.
I paint. Yeah, I paint, and I got dirty hands constantly.
So you've been doing a lot of that.
Yes.
That's been COVID life.
Yes, COVID life. Yes, definitely. Got to do something.
So we were. So with all this available time we've been kind of looking at the news.
Oh gosh.
We should talk about. You want to talk about the San Francisco folks first?
The San Francisco folks.
Who we got popping in there?
We have Greg from high school. Hi, and Miss Dina. Hello, Dina.
Hey there. So I guess there's a video that goes with this. And this
Oh,
is-
that okay.
this
I
is,
thought some of the other stories were maybe took place there in San Francisco. Yeah.
This story is terrifying.
Yes.
So these guys were robbed. They got all their camera gear robbed out of their car. But
And-
there's a video, a dash cam caught it. They were actually in their car driving, getting onto a highway ramp. Let's have a look at that video here, and let's make it so you can actually see it. This is terrifying.
Yes, I'm terrified of this happening.
So pay attention to this car pulling up on the right. I mean, it's almost like a carjacking.
They almost got away.
I mean, this is just, they must have saw, these are real estate photographers, busts the window out, pulls the bag of gear out, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
I mean, just wow.
That fast.
Look how upset they are.
There is no way you could get away from that kind of.
And let's see that again here. She's so upset. So I'm guessing someone probably saw them packing up from a job, said, let's follow them, let's grab that bag. Seems like they knew what they were wanting to grab.
And they knew exactly where it was.
And what could you even do? I mean, if I was in that car, I would have thought maybe someone hit us or rear-ended us. That's just.
Yeah, they have no idea where.
$7,000 worth of gear.
Yeah.
Well, at least someone got the dash cam.
Yeah, and I think they got a GoFundMe and they got
all their stuff back, I think.
Did they get the stuff back?
Or they got enough money to
enough money,
replace
right.
it.
That happened to me. I got my car very delicately broken into and $4,000 worth of equipment stolen from my vehicle. And I think there was only one person on the block where I lived that knew what I did, and I think it was probably that person who did it.
That's why you need insurance.
And he had helped himself to some Easter peeps that were in there, and he saved me too.
Oh, we got this print in the background there.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
other side of our heater.
Yeah, we got some stuff.
I was seeing that. That was actually, we posted a video of that for sale a minute ago. And
we got to do this art sale during these slow times.
now there's something pretty funny about these. There's two of these.
Yes, the other one's hanging up there.
You might find our treat coordinator hidden in here.
Yep,
It's kind of like
she might be in there.
Where's Waldo kind of thing going on.
And this is a cement factory in Fairborn, abandoned, equipment left behind, and the weird blue lighting is a gel on a flash.
So we're not live tonight. We're just using the shotgun mic. So.
Oh, so you might not be able to hear me.
Yeah, so she might be a little low on that.
We also got this
yeah.
beautiful. I love this photo. I'm really surprised, honestly, that it hasn't sold. I think I need to make it bigger, honestly. But that's also for sale. And we got some other stuff coming up that I don't have framed yet. I got frames all over the place, some creative, beautiful stuff.
So she's been doing a lot of this stuff.
A lot of the frame restoration, a lot of.
And furniture restoration is her.
That is a very hard learning process. I would say I'm very much a beginner on that.
While you were gone, I was here a lot shooting. We had a couple small little edit jobs or whatever. Nothing where we went out to go shoot. So I was in here shooting video for a little bit of a short film. You got more people?
Yeah, old friend Becca.
Hello. So one of the things that I did was I did put a video about the dolly zoom.
Yes.
This seems like nothing. This was a whole day of shooting. I mean, honestly, at least a half a day.
You made it look like it was the easiest thing in the world that had ever been done.
Let's see if we can hear us if I play it. Yeah. So what this is, you see how the background is kind of getting.
I like the cord. It just seems to shrink up into nothing.
So basically, what that is now you've seen this in other films. So see this kind of same thing in Jaws.
I want to do that. I want to do this on a portrait. Any business executive out there that wants to try something like this, please.
So you get your whole background kind of being a little different than your foreground.
Yeah.
So the idea with that is it's done in camera. It's not something you do later. You just you got to push in the camera and zoom out at the same time, or vice versa, pull out and zoom in at the exact same speed. So it's kind of tricky because you got to get real coordinated there.
Yeah, I know you can program something to do it on a dolly, some big expensive.
Well, if we had
machine.
a motorized slider, we could probably program it all. And
but this guy did it like it was nothing.
Which is why it was a half day.
I was at home sick and I saw that and I was absolutely blown away by that technique. I didn't know you put a whole day into it. You could have just been like, oh, it was nothing. And I'd
It
have just
was
been
nothing.
so impressed.
Well, I also made a little video that we posted for social media,
Yeah, I thought that was wonderful. I can't wait to try that with a portrait.
which was, and the reason I was even doing that is it was a little short film we're working on, and trying to figure out we're at the point now where we need some funds to for locations and people
Right.
and whatnot. There's not enough of that together yet for a trailer, but we do have the opening. Opening we could have a look at. Yeah,
Put it out. Yeah.
All right. I don't think we can talk through this. So
That's okay.
here's the opening scene. Oh, yeah,
Some
we can
stark
talk.
new numbers on the COVID-19 crisis in the United States. Deaths and hospitalizations are now reaching heights above what was thought to be the peak of the pandemic.
The U.S. is dealing with the worst pandemic in a century. Take a look at this graphic showing the single deadliest days in American history. 3 days from this week alone are near the top of this list, with 3 additional days from last week.
The message from officials right across the United States is that the situation is dire and it is only going to get worse. As you mentioned, the data that we're seeing, Heather, is worse than it was at the peak in the spring.
Lawmakers are still locked in a stalemate, divided over a more permanent relief package as millions of Americans navigate a cash-strapped new normal.
We have enough to probably go for about a month and a half, 2 months.
I'm frightened. I'm frightened about what's going to happen to so many families.
We're not lazy. We're not trying to get something for nothing, but we don't want to lose our homes.
If you are out during the curfew, you are subject to arrest.
All right, I think that's as far as we're going. Yeah, you see a topless me in the next scene, but
Oh, topless Brian. Woo!
so yeah, the intro we were just talking as we were watching it. The COVID things. This is like kind of a reality, science fiction, exaggerated reality kind of.
1984-ish.
Kind of like that. It's kind of 1984, but the little COVID things dancing around and some over top of that footage was some school, some sort of school that wasn't medical school, and it's like, please use this for something. Please don't credit us because this is our first try at it, and
I think it's absolutely beautiful.
but out of all the stuff that you could actually pay for to use, that was the best looking thing. I mean,
Right.
it's just amazing.
I think it's just gorgeous, except that I don't think the virus itself is that symmetrical. I think it's more bloppy and sloppy looking.
Bloppy.
Yeah, bloppy,
Bloppy, that's a word.
like when you're not.
That's a technical
You're
word,
not
yeah.
quite round. You're just kind of bloppy. Yes, exactly. I don't know. It's a scary looking creature, though.
What else we got? You want to talk about the tattoo?
Yes, this is a
Sorry.
weird story.
This is a weird story. So,
Yeah, everybody knows who Kat is. She was on cable.
Yeah, she
Very talented tattoo artist. Very talented artist.
well, why don't you explain this a little bit? What is going on with this
A
lawsuit?
photographer that seems to be famous or semi-famous since he's done magazine work. Jeff Sedlick.
Said, yeah,
Forgive me if I'm not saying that right. Had photographed
Miles
a
Davis.
jazz singer.
Miles
and,
Davis, yeah.
Yeah, in 1989, which is the year we met.
And it was featured in like Life magazine and Pictures
Yeah,
of
it's
the
an
Year. So
absolutely
it's like a
beautiful
big
picture.
deal.
I copied that style quite a bit as a young person. And I guess that she tattooed this portrait on someone, which you wouldn't think, you have a portrait tattooed. My first thought was, so? And then I got to reading the article a little bit, about how famous that photo is and how there was no permission asked. And I kind of was like, wow, I kind of get why he would be a little upset. I mean, I think if I had a portrait of someone famous and someone didn't ask me or credit me or anything, I think I might be a little perplexed about that. So I really see both sides of it.
It's a copyright case. I think he's looking for $150,000. But it's weird because yes, it's his image, but she actually had to draw that with her own hands. I guess there's a lot of gray area, so it'd be kind of
Right.
interesting to see what happens with this. because, I mean, we're constantly, especially with music and sound in our videos, we're constantly, like, trying to make sure that we get all
The copyright, all the legal stuff.
all
yeah.
the legal stuff, and we had to do well, they ended up not using it, but they wanted to use a pop song. And to get copyright permission, you got to pay a multitude of people. You got to pay the artist, you got to pay the
Well,
publisher.
you got to figure out who you have to pay first, which is the hard part. Right?
That is actually the worst part. is
And
to
what if
figure out
that
who.
was what if they just brought a photocopy of that picture and she had no idea where it came from? So I mean, I really see both sides of it. But I think if I was that photographer, this is terrible. I would honestly probably make a fuss just to get publicity.
Well, it doesn't seem like the photographer
maybe-
really needs any more publicity.
Or maybe have I've never heard of him. Maybe have a settlement. I don't know. I think that would be it's hard to say. I think that a settlement would probably be the best way to do it. But when I first heard the story, I was like, who cares? And I looked into it. I was like, man, that's...
I mean, that tattoo just looks amazing. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a really,
it's absolutely
really
beautiful.
good,
Yeah, she did amazing, yeah.
tattoo. So it's an interesting story. I mean, I guess
I
we'll
hope
see.
that person doesn't have to lose their tattoo. That would be absolutely terrible.
I mean,
don't think
could
that
they
should
really?
happen.
Could they really force that?
I don't
Like,
think so, but
that's-
that would be... So what, I mean, what towards the end of the article, I realized that that's such a gray area that I don't think there's any legislation for tattooing being a copyright for infringement.
Well, it's weird because it's art. I mean, yeah, maybe it's based off that photo is being used as a reference, which I think is how they worded it. But it's not actually exactly the same as the photo. It's not the exact image.
That's
So
true.
it's-
That's true. It's like changing the wording when when you're in school and you plagiarize something out of the Encyclopedia Britannica, which actually, I think we had the old ones from the 70s that smelled mildewy, that our grandparents gave us that were door-to-door encyclopedias.
You get one a month.
That we plagiarized, and I knew,
get
when
one
I
a
was a
month?
kid. Yeah.
Well,
you
imagine-
change one or two words, and then it's yours, and the teacher's impressed, and it's good, right?
Imagine if Wikipedia was like that, where just like each month it's just a different letter of the alphabet, things starting with that letter.
That would be awesome. I think that would be great. I think they should print and bound Wikipedia and start selling it.
But anyways, so that story kind of like reminds me of this licensing issue I had, and God, this just got worse and worse and worse. Where a company asked to license some video of, we visited a man in a 747, and
A man who lived in a 747 airplane.
airplane, yeah,
Yeah,
in the
not
forest,
everybody knows what that
in the
is.
forest, and so they wanted me to license this video for them, and they promised big returns, and so I said okay, and the first thing they did was put a copyright mark on my video on YouTube of that. So I mean, I'm not into it now, so trying to get them to do anything to stop licensing it. I mean, I guess it was on the Daily Mail. I forget who else they said. And they're in lawsuits trying to get payment, and you'll get paid as soon as they get their payment.
Well, what killed me is that they tried to tell you that you couldn't have it up because
Right.
they had copyrighted it, which seems like it could be an automated thing. It may not have been entirely their fault.
Well, YouTube claims
Right.
keen in the butt. You don't even know who to talk
yeah.
to.
Yeah, that's true. So it may not have been them directly.
And I was seeing different media outlets using it, and so I'm like, dude, take it down. According to your own terms of this contract, I can revoke my rights to you. I can revoke your rights at any given time, and I did. And it took them forever to acknowledge that.
Ultimately, they really did good, though.
And I was like, okay, dude, I thought you were gonna pay me.
Yeah.
And that took a long time, but eventually it was. So this is the whole deal is done. They're not licensing that video footage, and they did pay a couple $100, not much, for
Right.
the amount of time and pain in the butt that we had to
Right,
deal with.
yeah. I was surprised that you got anything out of that at all.
I was totally surprised. Yeah, I didn't.
There's your profile.
So what else? We should check in to see what I'm worth. What do you
You were
think?
worth 666.
Well, that was
now
last
you're
time. Let's reload and see.
1347.
I'm going up because I might sound smart on
You
video.
know what happens though is when him and I get in an argument, his worth goes down dramatically and really quickly.
Should we talk about this big giant project we're working on?
Oh, our new website, maybe.
So yeah, we actually this is way behind. We've been trying to build out our new website. We're pretty excited about it. It's so much cooler than what we have up now. But yeah, that's been taking up a fair amount of time.
Yes, I can't believe the amount of text that has to be written, and
Yeah, there's a lot of writing to be
and
done
you don't
there.
want to just put up a generic terminology about storytelling. And what's the other cliche word? Strategist.
You know, the buzzwords that go around
Storytelling and
are-
strategist and what is? Oh, there's another one. I can't think of it. I don't know.
You know, you people who like these buzzword people, they just it's crazy. I mean, you'll see that a lot with the startup people. They always have a buzzword they got to use, and it's just like, dude, you're like the third person in the last hour that said that in this conversation.
Yeah, it's hard to set yourself apart. And then, I mean, it kind of reminds me of when a community is on the downhill slide. You know what I'm going to say. They always talk about revitalization. Whenever you hear revitalization of a community, run! You don't want to invest in that community. I didn't say that.
Well, you know, I mean, if you're saying revitalization when you're talking about community, it kind of indicates that there's a problem in the first place.
Exactly, yeah. I just see that so much in just communities that are just disasters.
So I think the last thing, God, we had such a rough time getting this going. Looks like we've been going for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
23 minutes.
Yeah, we had it. Well, you know what? We didn't have all the things that you had to queue up and all the little videos and extras that you show. I can't believe how much work that is.
Yeah, this time
really-
we didn't put a lot into having tons of little clips.
Yeah, it's a
and
tremendous
stuff.
amount of work. It can be a whole day to put together a live stream to talk about.
And
And
then-
the trash can is still showing in the back.
And the thing about it is you know, it's been a while, and the whole COVID thing that I mean, do you think it's real?
No, it's pretend.
Was it as bad as you thought it would be? Some people have gotten away
The
pretty
COVID thing,
scot-free.
actually, honestly, when I first found out this was happening, I was one of those persons that was very angry about the economic shutdown. I was like, it's just the flu, what the... I was one of those, and then very quickly I changed my mind. And then having had it, yes, it's bad. It's very bad. I think if it weren't killing people, maybe I would say let's not be so cautious, but with it killing people, and I can definitely feel in my body how it could kill you. I mean,
Right.
the shortness of breath is really hard to explain because it's not like you cough and you get relief. It's like being in a sauna. You just can't quite breathe right. It's not like anything I've ever had before. So, and then it gets worse and you get really, really scared. And then you think about the long-term things, like I'm still having a lot of problems with fatigue, headaches, brain fog. The brain fog is embarrassing. I was explaining to...
It's cute.
No, it's not. I took my car the oil to be changed, and I'm like, can you check my, the window, they're like the windshield wipers. I'm like, yeah. And you don't want to be like, well, I just got over COVID, because then they're going to hose you down or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's been...
And names and just things like that are escaping me, but I don't know. I think that's getting better. It's tolerable. You just have to rest.
Since the beginning of the
a
year,
lot.
it's been like one quarantine after another.
It really
I mean,
has, yeah.
especially for me, I was in
Yeah.
quarantine, and then some of my family members.
And then him and I couldn't be
got
together
it.
because he was negative and I was positive. So,
Yeah, it
in
was
order
terrible.
to protect his mother and sister, we stayed apart. But then they got it and you didn't. So what?
You know,
It's a weird thing.
remember when all this was getting started? You had your freak out about...
The economy, yes, I didn't have any work, and we literally lost $3,000 and the rest of our income from the rest of the year immediately. That was very terrifying. That was very, very
you were
terrifying.
like, there's this thing happening. Let's go film it for absolutely no reason.
Right. We didn't want to sit around. We were like, let's just go and film this nonprofit that's doing this food drive. Let's go and make a story out of it. So we did. Yeah.
And we actually did end up getting paid for some of that.
Right.
And
They
we made a
were
great video for them. Yeah, actually, if you ever have a chance to check them out, they do all kinds of things aside from shoes.
Yeah, they're
but-
they're a great organization.
But the weird thing is when we went out to shoot this, it was about, they knew the schools were going to close. So we're just talking about the schools closing for the first
They
time.
had not closed yet.
when,
Yeah.
They just did. And boy, how things progressed. It's been,
I think
it's been a wild ride.
It got so much worse than I expected, but I don't know, the amount of help, my friends helped me a lot at first, and then thank God for that unemployment and health care and other government benefits that I was able to get. So, not everybody's that lucky. And it is a hot mess with unemployment and those programs, but it really saved us, definitely.
So I guess the last little thing we got is another news story into the whole photo thing.
Oh goodness!
So this one's kind of interesting. So David Yarrow, who is a well-known wildlife photographer, was spotted. What was it? Where were they at? They were in some national forest. Grand Tetons? Grand Teton? Yeah. National Park.
Where is that?
It's a national park in a place.
Oh, okay.
So about
U.S.?
Right there. It's okay. So, anyways, this guy was spotted by another photographer, probably doing wildlife, and this almost sounds like it's some sort of rivalry. However,
I don't think so.
But I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
She snapped some photos, as you see here. He had his assistants feeding foxes so that he can get pictures.
Well, they said that he was feeding them. There's a big difference between feeding them and making little poppy sounds or whatever with a bag. And
so this woman caught him, and I guess what she saw and heard was one of the what was the quote? One man circled the area feeding the fox occasionally. After this, the men started photographing 2 foxes. The photographer instructed one of them to use a plastic bag to entice the foxes to come closer. And then one of the men stated, "You better do what I tell you or I'll take out my gun and shoot you." And I guess that really upset this woman. So this guy, like I said, who is famous, is kind of on the
did he
hot
say that
foot.
to the other person or to the fox?
To the fox.
Okay.
I'd say that to you.
Oh, yeah. He has.
But
he
anyways,
doesn't feed me.
I don't know. It sounds like a little bit of rivalry, but I think, if you're a wildlife photographer, feeding the wildlife is up, especially in a national park like that. Big no-no.
Right.
You don't want to do that.
I definitely agree with that. You don't want to feed homeless people either. You might end up with a lifelong fiance, boyfriend, partner.
That's how you found me.
And definitely don't give them bear. But I don't know. I feel mixed feelings about this one too, because even though I agree with her blowing the whistle, I kind of think if he's that famous, he definitely would know better.
He would know better.
Definitely be wary of being caught. And what if he didn't feed them? I mean, what if they were really just, the paper bag? I don't know. I think that's okay, right? Who doesn't make a noise or whatever to get an animal to look at you? I don't know. I'm not a wildlife photographer. I don't know what the protocol is for that. I know better than to feed a grizzly bear or whatever, but
No better to feed you. Yeah. So anyways, I guess that's about, we got anything else?
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I see 2 sides to everything, and that's probably my biggest problem in life. I'm constant conflict with myself.
I noticed. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's it. Do we have any, I think that's all we got to talk about. We'll do this again in a month.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one will be getting the COVID again.
Oh gosh, yeah. Stay safe,
And,
guys. We wore masks and we're very careful.
Do we got anybody else here that's anybody saying anything? I'm looking. I got too many windows.
Miss Christy Gellum, hello, and Paul, hi. A couple of older friends here, and but everybody just drops off. They look at me and go, "Oh God, ugh, she looks terrible." Clack.
We got a cool thing that I'm excited about coming up. I'm not going to talk much about, but we get to see some of our videos that we have yet to produce up on a big jumbotron at a stadium.
Yes.
And I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yeah,
So
that's a big deal.
That is a big deal. So our little local Dayton Dragons Stadium, our stuff's going to be on a 7-story screen. And
Yeah.
that's exciting.
It is.
And we get the live stream from there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe somebody will buy some art.
So, so anyways, I guess that's it. Guess we're just gonna close out with replaying that little bit of the short film thing, and
It's beautiful.
We'll call
You
it
did a great
good.
job.
It's not done. There's a lot more to do. So, thanks for watching us ramble.
Bye, everybody.
You guys have a good one.
That was pretty good.
Some stark new numbers on the COVID-19 crisis in the United States. Deaths and hospitalizations are now reaching heights above what was thought to be the peak of the pandemic.
The U.S. is dealing with the worst pandemic in a century. Take a look at this graphic showing the single deadliest days in American history. 3 days from this week alone are near the top of this list, with 3 additional days from last week.
The message from officials right across the United States is that the situation is dire and it is only going to get worse. As you mentioned, the data that we're seeing, Heather, is worse than it was at the peak in the spring.
Lawmakers are still locked in a stalemate, divided over a more permanent relief package as millions of Americans navigate a cash-strapped new normal.
We have enough to probably go for about a month and a half, 2 months.
I'm frightened. I'm frightened about what's going to happen to so many families.
We're not lazy. We're not trying to get something for nothing, but we don't want to lose our homes.
If you are out during the curfew, you are subject to arrest.
Are you really going to work?
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
We don't have any customers.
We still got a few left. She's probably right. I don't know why I do this every day. All of our clients are either sick or out of business. I grew up being told that if you work hard, you'd be fine. But even before this crazy virus came along, none of the people I know got that lifelong job straight out of school, built that savings, work until you retire, then retire and do fun things with that retirement fund and the savings you built. That's a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream of the past that doesn't exist anymore. Some people refuse to believe it though. They just end up dying trying to reach that pipe dream. I wonder where the word pipe dream came from. I should look that up.
People won't learn. These people won't learn. You're a bunch of idiots wearing masks. You know it's not real. Look at you fools. You got a fucking doily on your face, you retard. It looks like you fucking got it off your mom's countertop. You look like an idiot. You're the child. Trying to make you wear a mask. Shut up. Shut up. Yelling at you. You're a dork. Look at you, you giant fucking dork. What are you gonna do? Come outside. Come outside and show me how tough you are. Fucking, I'll